Part 35. Exploring the world, starting from the discovery of the white bone dragon pond. Author, Xuanhuan Pian Hai. Chapter 341. After the door opened, Yeshi directly packed up the eclipse cauldron and Lao Tiangong and threw them back. Baihu's feet were on the void. Yeshi sat on Baihu's body and watched the door slowly open. It made me laugh so hard. Brother Ye is really merciless with this move, poor Tiangong. By the way, I didn't expect that Lao Ye would take this heavenly worker away. When did it happen? Just because we don't know about it, right? I don't know why, I thought of that dragon egg. I understand everything. The elder's words should understand what I mean. I didn't expect Brother Ye to open the door directly. After all, we all heard the sound of whales. Now I am afraid that the sea will suddenly pop out of the ground. Tomcat, that's not necessary. How can the little Poseidon be afraid of the sea? It's you who should be afraid. Crab reminds us, we should be afraid. The salty smell of the seaside came out, which made Yeshi's heart move, and the sound of the whale became closer and closer. Go, it's really the sea. There is a sea in front of you, but this sea is silver white, and the water is not light at all, but has an indescribable heaviness. Is this the Mercury Sea? Yeshi was shocked. There are whales in the Mercury Sea. Oh my God, isn't this going to give birth to an indescribable monster? Yeshi could not imagine a whale living in the Mercury Sea. No, there was more than one. The strong white light illuminated the dark underground very brightly, as if there was really a bright sun inside the mausoleum of Xuanhuan. That's not true. It's just that the false sun should be bought and sold from aliens. Yeshi thought of that tomcat almost instantly. And when the white light flashed, everything appeared in front of Yeshi. This sea, this water, this door. Yeshi murmured to himself. Because after opening the door, there is Xuanhuan's Mercury Sea. Originally, the mercury should be sealed in it. However, now, the door is open, but the sea water is not poured out. Is this the power of witches? No, this is the power of the tide. Yeshi looked up at the sky, the incomplete sun, and the incomplete moon next to it. The defects are very obvious, and you can even see the craters on the sun and moon, indicating that these two things are very close to the ground. In the Mercury Sea, white whales were writhing in it, and ethereal sounds came from the sea. After Yeshi took a closer look, he found that this was not a whale at all. These whales are machine beasts. There are 3 fairy islands floating in the sea. These 3 fairy islands should be Penglai, Yingzhou, and Fangjiang that Xuanhuan asked Su Fu to go to sea to find. They are floating in the Mercury Sea, and the strange flowers and spiritual trees on the mountain are emitting a faint light. There are immortals walking among them, and even goddesses flying into the sky, flanked by huge whales guarding them. Yeshi could tell that the immortal and goddess were portraits, not real existences. But in the very center is a seemingly floating heavenly palace. The power of Moism. The white clouds scattered next to the Tiangong obscured the mechanisms below the Tiangong, making it look like it was floating in the air. Oh my God, I can't believe my eyes. Yeshi's heart was filled with shock. He saw another civilization development route that was completely different from the current Blue Star civilization. Aalaguo, it turns out that the mausoleum of Xuanhuan actually looks like this. It seems that the legend is not exaggerated. I even think that the legend is still not 1/10,000th as magical as the real mausoleum of Xuanhuan. Yang Shugguang, if we can bring these things out, then our technology can take another big step forward. Thousands of miles away, why do I feel that our technology tree is crooked? The Mo family had such technology thousands of years ago, so what are we doing? Yeshi flew in on a white tiger. As a mechanical beast, the white whale actually has no intelligence of its own. It just follows the established route to the surface, then swims, and then sinks. The 3 mountains are occasionally hidden under the Mercury Sea. So beautiful. The scene in front of me is really beautiful. It is a kind of beauty that has reached the pinnacle of classical mechanism skills, and people who look at it are mesmerized. These clouds are also institutions. Yeshi rode a white tiger and landed next to the white clouds in the sky. He stretched out his hand and pulled out the mechanism hidden underneath. This cloud is composed of countless gears of different sizes. Most of the gears are still rotating, and only a few have been abandoned. The skill of this mechanism is as ingenious as a miracle. Not to mention the heavenly palace in the center. It is the pinnacle expression of Mahist organ skills in the entire mausoleum of Xuanhuan. Yeshi passed through the layers of white clouds and came to the bottom of the suspended Tiangong. As a result, he saw something like a dragon's spine. It was these things that held up the Tiangong. There is something like a sundial on each dragon's spine. All the layouts are in line with the yin and yang and the 5 elements, and every place is perfectly integrated and full of artistic beauty. Yeshi carefully landed on the heavenly palace. The great Qin black dragon flag flutters in the wind. Thousands of years apart, everyone can feel the power of this wind flag. The entire appearance of the heavenly palace is made of white jade, with occasional golden threads, making it look solemn and ethereal. Yeshi compared the real heavenly palaces he had seen, and could only say that heaven was completely different from the human world. If you receive orders from heaven, you will live forever. At the main entrance of the heavenly palace, in addition to the statues of mythical beasts, there is also the imperial seal and the legendary Heshibai, which is placed in the mouth of a black dragon with round eyes. I still have a dreamy feeling now. I hit the person next to me hard but didn't feel any pain. I must be missing old Ye and Zheng Ji too much, so I am dreaming. Me too. I have thought many times about what Zheng Ji's tomb looks like, but I can't imagine it like this. Through this, I can get a glimpse of the greatness of the Qin dynasty. Damn Hu Hai, damn Zhao Gao, damn Li Si, ah. Yeshi tried to push the door of the heavenly palace open. There was no sound at all. It was clean and there was no one inside, but he took a few steps and immediately retreated, then closed the door of the heavenly palace. This should be the bedroom of the first emperor, I won't go in. Yeshi walked around the heavenly palace and came to the back of the heavenly palace. He looked far away and saw a continent. That's Xianyang City. Yang Zheng really brought Xianyang City underground. There are also terracotta warriors and statues of generals. He really planned to continue fighting and expanding the territory after his death. Yeshi had amazing eyesight and saw what was in that direction at once. He couldn't help but sigh. Exploring the world, starting from the discovery of the white bone dragon pond. Author, Wo Yi Pian Hai. Chapter 342. At the same time, Yeshi also heard a familiar system sound. So he left the suspended heavenly palace and headed towards the continent ahead. This scene is so spectacular that I can't help but feel horrified. No wonder King Qin swept Liu He, it felt like a dimensionality reduction blow. The problem is that people are no longer in Blue Star and have gone outside. Future generations like us will not be able to see our ancestors one day. One thing to say, the possibility is extremely high. Xianyang City in the mausoleum of Xuanhuan. The entire Xianyang City is very simple and elegant, as if it has traveled from thousands of years ago to the present. 12 golden men. Yeshi saw the legendary 12 golden figures made of iron from the world's soldiers. Each one was as tall as the gate of Xianyang City. It seems that the terracotta warriors and horses excavated before are just scraps. The Mahist craftsmanship is a one-to-one replica of Xianyang, the capital of the Qin dynasty. There are still children playing inside, and the people who once lived in Guangzhou are all made of machine bodies and pottery figurines. He made his tomb look like this after his death. If you look at it from here. At the time of King Qin, what they considered the underworld should be the same as the underworld. Yeshi thought for a moment, then nodded. Perhaps it is indeed like this, but after the underworld was ruined, it became what we see. Although we went to Fengdu and there is a road to reincarnation, we haven't seen anything in the hell that the ghost soldiers talked about, let alone the entire great underworld. Did you take the wrong path? Yashi only felt that everything in front of him was confusing, and all the truth was hidden under the dust of time. When Brother Ye said this, I felt like I smelled a conspiracy. What is the difference between the underworld and the underworld? I thought it was just a different noun. The explanation of the term should also be different. By the way, this time I entered Qin Shi Huang's mausoleum, I finally learned an eternal mystery, that is, how did Qin Shi Huang die? I also learned what is inside the mausoleum of Qin Shi Huang that many people have been obsessed with. The so-called sun, moon, stars, mountains, rivers, and seas all appear before us. How can I put it this way? Despite my extraterrestrial experience, I can still feel a sense of shock. Maybe it's because I have read relevant history books since I was a child. However, there seems to be no other exit. You can only go out through the gate. This is the first time I have seen an ancient tomb that was sealed so tightly. The tomb of the earthly immortal, needless to say, the tomb of the earthly immortal, it was broken open from the inside. Yashi was walking in the underground Xianyang city, feeling very comfortable. But when I saw the progress of the entire Blue Star expedition, my mood was not very good. Because the mystery of this tomb that everyone in the Dragon Kingdom was curious about was unveiled, and the whereabouts of the first emperor was found, the overall progress actually only improved by 1%. However, the exploration of Qin Shi Huang's tomb has reached 100%. Yashi also picked up some of Brother Zheng's wool by the way. There is always a special feeling. I will see many shocking characters in the alien world in the future. If Brother Zheng can leave, there is no reason why others can't leave, let alone pre-Qin. I left Hang Pass in the west. Yashi concentrated for a moment and looked at the camera. I remember that not far from Hang Pass, there seemed to be a 5-color altar. When I looked down at the blue star from the starry sky road, I could see countless lights lighting up. Each light spot was a 5-color altar. There are more 5-color altars in the entire blue star than all the 5-color altars we have ever seen. When I left Hang Pass in the west, I may have walked on the ancient road of the starry sky. I'm afraid that many of the predecessors have either made spaceships or gone on the ancient road of the stars. One thing to say, I actually doubted this when the starry sky ancient road appeared for the first time. The ancient starry sky road has always been said to be built by heaven, but I have doubts about this matter anyway. When the starry sky ancient road also appeared on the planet of behemoths, I couldn't help but think about how lively the universe, and even the solar system, is. Do you still remember the little people in Mars? Because there is an energy in the air of Mars that can only be used when it becomes smaller, so hundreds of millions of little Martians were born. It is really like one flower, one world, Sumina mustard seed. Don't tell me, our blue star alone is already like this. Yes, the universe is almost infinite, but the solar system is already vast, let alone the others. The places we have walked through are not even 1 in a billion. Yashi had already walked out of the mausoleum and looked at the dark sky. The vast starry sky is the true destination of all life. What is our goal? Our goal is the sea of stars. Tomcat, yes, I have been wandering in the sea of stars for so many years, but I still feel that the universe is unimaginably vast. It's okay, according to what is said in the novel, the next step should be to stack the boxes. You understand everything, and later on, you can destroy a universe with a backhand. Anonymous, generally speaking, people who write like this must have never been to space. They have been to the universe to take a look, but whenever you see the universe, you will find that in such a vast world, even the giant beasts in the starry sky are not worth mentioning. Even if people grow up to be as big as the Milky Way, in the universe, the Milky Way is just a drop in the ocean. Yashi left the underground. When passing by the witch, he told the other party the news that the first emperor was not dead. By the way, he told the other party that Yang Zheng had gone to outer space. If he wanted to go, just contact the relevant departments. successfully passed the blame on others. He was also kind enough to leave the key to Qin Shi Huang's mausoleum outside. As for whether he could get here, let nature take its course. There is a vague feeling of oppression underground. Maybe it's because the underground space is too dark and small. That's why I don't like going to ancient tombs to explore mysteries. It's better to go to heaven. There is a saying, it is true. Then let me ask briefly, where will Brother Ye go next time the live broadcast starts? How about you reveal some news to us in advance? I add one. Yashi blinked while looking at these barrage. See you next time. Just when the netizens were about to continue pleading, the screen went black and they couldn't see anything. They suddenly let out bursts of wailing, and some impatient ones started hammering on the keyboard again. You're right, so where should I go for my next live broadcast? I feel like I've seen a lot in this dimension. Should I change it to another dimension? Yashi looked up at the sky, thinking deeply in his heart. He really thought so, but he still hadn't figured out exactly how to go to which dimension. Moreover, this universe is already vast enough, why do we still need to go out for a stroll? In a blink of an eye, Yashi has returned to the world. Lying on Kun's body, he wandered along the sea water. Dimension, it sounds a bit advanced. Let's put it another way and understand. That is multiverse. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Exploring the world, starting from the discovery of the white bone dragon pond. Author, Xuanhuan Pian Hai. Chapter 343. Yashi knew that if he said the words multiverse, everyone would be shocked. After all, one universe is scary enough, let alone countless universes. Just thinking about it makes people's hair stand on end and goosebumps all over their body. But dimensions represent the multiverse, otherwise where would the two blue stars come from? There may be similar planets or even identical galaxies in the same universe, but there are definitely not the multiple blue stars seen from the Wangxiang Terrace. Thinking of this, Yashi looked at the blue sky and relaxed his heavy heart. Then he patted the Kun below. How come you have only grown up so little after taking so long? Are you Kun? Everyone else has the same Kun at the beginning, and there is no upper limit to his evolution. Why are you different? Come on, tell me what 1 + 1 equals? You can help me decide where to go on my next adventure. Yashi poked Kunpeng under him. Water spurted out from behind Xiao Kunpeng, and his body spread out to be about the size of several elephants. His eyes were confused and he looked at Yashi innocently. Yashi's eyes were always staring at the sky. He didn't see Xiao Kunpeng's eyes or movements, but that didn't stop him from saying. I understand, you said it is equal to 0. Okay, then let's go see other universes. Little Kunpeng continued to swim slowly in the sea, completely ignoring the fact that there was a person sitting on top of him. Although Blue Star has undergone many changes, and its worldview has been reshaped many times. But everyone was shocked that Qin Shi Huang did not die but left. People at all times and at home and abroad have begun to have their imaginations opened on the internet. I wonder if all the missing people opened the 5-color altar and walked on the ancient road in the starry sky, or were picked up by alien spacecraft. In this regard, the official organizations are silent. They are now trying to communicate with a witch who has lived for thousands of years. The result of the communication was, of course, very unsatisfactory, so much so that the staff began to wonder how Yashi could chat so harmoniously with this witch in just one sentence. Although Wu had indeed contacted the officials, it was a pity that she was just sitting there with her eyes closed, unwilling to even look at these staff members. How did Brother Ye communicate with Wu? I watched this live broadcast 20 times and I still don't understand it. A cute new staff member asked, stroking the remaining hair in pain. The old staff have participated in this project many times, but never have the progress been as great as this one. Although this result is not theirs, isn't it theirs now? Therefore, when he heard Mensin's complaint, he just smiled and said, "Then watch it 20 times again." Mensin. He just tactfully suggested that watching the live broadcast was useless. Not everyone was Yeshi, and not everyone became an immortal. Facts have proved that watching the live broadcast is useless. But what happened to my boss? Doesn't he understand human language? With this confusion, Mensin started watching the live broadcast again. As for the wave of public opinion aroused on the Blue Star Internet came one after another. In the end, Jesus was picked up by aliens. To be honest, Yeshi really didn't expect that it would unfold like this. But it doesn't matter. Because he has already decided where his next live broadcast adventure will be. The map unfolded in front of Yeshi showed a water blue planet, and 98% of this planet was water. After all, he didn't decide to go to other dimensions at first. Choose to continue wandering in this dimension. Only. Before the next live broadcast, Yeshi decided to take a good rest to ensure that he had enough strength. Of course, whether others believe this excuse is another matter. On a vast expanse of sea, Yeshi continued his fishing career in the middle of the sea. It looked like he was fishing, but actually Yeshi was sleeping. It looks like he is sleeping, but he is actually practicing. Dao ancestors can practice in dreams, which shows that this is a great avenue, so Yeshi started to practice in dreams without any burden at all. From heaven to immortal, every step of cultivation is a change in the essence of life level. And in the end, it was naturally Deluo Jingxian who proved eternity. This is the path of immortality. Yeshi's climb has been quite bumpy, at least now the gap between him and Deluo Jingxian is about as far as the multiverse. But besides the path of immortality, you can also take the path of God's authority. Yeshi thought of the dream authority he possessed, and began to think about the authority he had obtained from the snake god and the kettle secret realm. Is it really complete, or are there remaining parts scattered outside? Perhaps, two different paths can lead to the ultimate. When Yeshi was thinking, he couldn't help but think of heaven. Heaven has been chasing the old gods who have authority and are located above the stars. Why do this? Yeshi hasn't even scratched the surface of the answer to this question yet. It won't come to the end. The paths of immortals and gods will conflict with each other, right? Yeshi asked himself but couldn't get an answer. Forget it, the boat will go straight when it reaches the bridge. Besides, authority is not something that cannot be stripped away. Thinking about it this way, Xiangeng is actually more reliable. Something feels wrong. Yeshi didn't think about it anymore. But from the ocean back to the land. Back under the Kunlun sacred tree. He looked at this behemoth with a little pity in his eyes. In myths and legends, there are at least 5 kinds of sacred trees, but there is only this one planted in my world. What a shame. The tree that reaches the sky, the hibiscus tree, the immortal tree, the Bodhi tree, the ginseng fruit tree, the flat peach tree. It's true that a mutated peach tree was planted, but it's not the mother plant after all. Yeshi walked to the peach tree, then reached out and picked a few fresh peaches from it. After taking a few bites, he felt refreshed. It seems that it is nourished by immortal energy, so the taste has also changed, becoming more and more delicious. It just grows a little slow. It took so long for a dozen peaches to grow. No wonder the Queen Mother's flat peaches bloom only once every 3,000 years. The monkey is really lucky. First he ate countless flat peaches, and then he ate the golden elixir refined by Tai's Hang Lejun. It seems like heaven is giving a helping hand to the monkey. It would be great if I can dig out Tai's Hang Lejun's alchemy furnace or alchemy room. I don't know how much wool can be harvested. The elixirs I refined myself are very different in appearance, and the taste is even more terrible. Yashi thought of how he had made elixirs before and threw all the elixirs into the sea. He didn't know if they were eaten by some unlucky person. Heaven. Although I have already been to Nantianmen and even picked up a Tiangong. But Yashi was still extremely curious about this legendary place. Click click click. He finished the peach, looked at Wukuazi and said, "It would be best if we could get dozens of peach trees from heaven. But now, the most important thing is this." Yashi took out the rewards from the Qin Shi Huang Mausoleum exploration system. He went to Qin Shi Huang's mausoleum just because of the unicorn. Therefore, Kailan was naturally brought out. But this unicorn. Yashi really wanted to beat up the system. Because the unicorn rewarded by the system is a stone egg. Exploring the world, starting from the discovery of the white bone dragon pond. Author, Wo Yi Pian Hai. Chapter 344. Have all the blue star beasts turned into eggs, or are they still stone eggs? This egg has been turned into stone for at least thousands of years. Can it still be hatched? If I remember correctly, you said there was a unicorn cub in Qin Shi Huang's mausoleum. Do you think this looks like a cub? You're just pretending to be a fool, you're calling a deer a horse, right? Yashi took the unicorn egg in his hand and sneered at the silent system. Forget it, just throw it into the spiritual energy pool and soak it. If you can really turn the stone into a unicorn egg, it will be fine even if you suck all the spiritual energy out of the pool. As for the spiritual energy pool, it was the wool that Yashi harvested from the Kunlun sacred tree. After sorting the items rewarded by the system into the places where they should be placed, Yashi took the next live broadcast seriously. The planet I want to visit next time is very special. It was precisely because it was special enough that it aroused Yashi's curiosity. A planet full of water. Real water polo and blue star. I have never been to a place like this before. Yashi lay under the Kunlun sacred tree. A couch had been placed here early, and it had become a place for Yashi to rest and practice. Ambi light, thousands of auspicious colors hanging down. Small bronze hangings are hung on the branches of the sacred tree. These bronze-looking sacred objects are the fruits of the Kunlun sacred tree. It doesn't look like it's edible. Yashi didn't try to eat it. The two Cheolongs would occasionally pick a bronze fruit and eat it, but Yashi only saw it twice in such a long time. The sun prison has returned to normal, at least it is operating normally, and the sources of pollution have begun to be slowly removed. And a ferocious Dazu searched hard in the sun prison and finally found the secret door left by Yashi. For a moment, he simply cried with joy. "Boss, I'm here to find you." Yashi was resting when he felt something came into his world through layers of time and space. He was concentrating on practicing when this sudden feeling came over him, and he subconsciously wanted to block the other person's way. But thoughts are faster than actions. Yashi quickly reacted. It turns out to be I was really found by it. Yashi sat up from the couch all of a sudden. This spirit, when I was hiding in heaven, I had the spirit to run away freely. How can I be imprisoned for so long? Yangzhu came to a whole new world and stepped on the sea. Endless energy emerged from the sea, and a huge wave set off, frightening the already frightened Yangzhu. It felt a little regretful when it walked in, because this world felt too dangerous to it, and it always felt that it would be swallowed by an unknown existence in the next second. I don't know why. The sunlight on the ground shone on it, giving it a feeling of being watched, and unfounded fear filled its heart. This is the door left by the person. It should be okay, right? Yaezao muttered twice, but when he lowered his head, he saw a big octopus suddenly emerging from the sea, and Kunpeng. Master also raised Kunpeng. Yashi arrived late and didn't know that his name had been changed 3 times. He just looked at the human-faced monster and raised his eyebrows. I didn't expect you to really be able to find the entrance. Okay, then you can live here. There are many cute little friends here. Look for them when you have trouble, and don't look for me when nothing happens. That's all. Yashi hurriedly said a few words in front of Yaezu and left directly regardless of the other person's confused and shocked eyes. Cute little friend. Yaezu has already seen the chi dragon hanging in the sky, the golden crow in the sun, the octopus bigger than the big island, the unscrupulous divine vine with its fangs and claws. There is also a sacred tree that blocks out the sky and sun, and various decorations that give it a sense of menace. It was somewhat unimaginable that it felt threatened by an insect, cicada. It's over, it's over. Why does this world look more terrifying than Zazeo prison? If I had known earlier, I should have brought that stinky fox over here. It would be better for all of us to die together than for me to die alone. However, this has always been a wise man who knows the current affairs very well. Therefore, although I was trembling with fear, I still nodded obediently. After Yashi took a look at Yaezu, he ran away. No matter what Yaezu does, this world only exists in his memory anyway. Even if something is damaged, it can still be restored through certain methods. Okay, now you should practice well. The world is getting bigger and bigger, and it's getting more and more dangerous for me to go out. It's not a good habit to have all your trump cards finally revealed. We have to keep a few hundred trump cards before we talk. In a dangerous universe, the most important thing is stability. Don't capsize in the gutter like others. Practice. Yashi closed his eyes, sat under the sacred tree, and began to practice seriously. During this time, the public opinion on the internet is fermenting like crazy, and it has also caused a sensation on other planets. It is worth mentioning that as the live broadcast continues, at the beginning, planets without the internet began to break through this technology, and the development of civilization moved to a strange place. 3 days later, Yashi had not finished practicing for a small week, so he had to get on the road. Sure enough, there is no time to practice. What a big time spell, I feel like my eyelids are about to open again just as they close. He complained a bit. Then he went online and posted a message on his account. A new adventure live broadcast has appeared, how can it stagnate? The live broadcast will start tomorrow. Everyone can guess where we are going next. Quiz with prizes. Can you give me the prize? What internet speed is actually the first? Then I'm so insulting, you dare to take Brother Yes prize, you really think your life is too long? Yes, but the gifts given now are quite normal, for example, they are from the human world, but that will not necessarily be the case in the future. Bye Chain, come out and dance, I'll let you experience the abnormal gift. After Yashi posted this post, he slowly went offline. Prepare everything you need for water polo. Wait until the next day. As soon as Yangju woke up, he found that the elder brother he had finally found had mysteriously disappeared again. This time Yashi brought Kraken, who had been fishing for a long time, with him. Kraken was very excited, and his octopus tentacles were flying in the sky. In a deep dark space, Yashi opened his live broadcast room. Why don't you have anything? Hell doesn't bring anything so dark. Living King of Hell, I'm suing you for defamation. Exploring the world, starting from the discovery of the white bone dragon pond. Author, Wo Yi Pian Hai. Chapter 345. Yashi has entered deep space, and unlike before, he did not borrow the ancient road from the starry sky, but drove the spaceship in a proper manner and sailed in the universe. It is boring to take too many shortcuts. It is more interesting to be like a normal explorer occasionally. The live broadcast room is dark because the lights are not turned on. In addition, the camera is aimed at a dark space, and even the light of the twinkling stars cannot be captured faintly. When in the darkness, a strange sound came out, and everyone's heart tightened. But at this time, the whole spaceship suddenly lit up, and the familiar sound rang out, which made everyone put down their hearts. Deep space is really wonderful. Yeshi exclaimed under the bright lights, looking at the universe outside. Although the live broadcast room seems to have returned to normal now, some people still asked about the unusual places before. What's going on? Why is the live broadcast room so dark all of a sudden? I don't have the feeling that I could do a perfect live broadcast under any circumstances. Network Administrator Kraken, in order to experience live broadcast immersively, this system will remove some of the flashy things in live broadcast, and will bring you a more realistic, full-depth, and perfect live broadcast. You, a man with thick eyebrows and big eyes, actually did this. Hey, little octopus, you can actually speak human language after not seeing you for a few days. 3 days apart, what do you think? It's just that this live broadcast doesn't have the feeling of the previous high-powered lights, and I feel guilty. I feel like I'm sitting in a movie theater watching a science fiction movie. There are many monsters in this science fiction movie, and they will jump out in the next second. Your feeling is right. Just when netizens were making all kinds of stupid comments. A netizen with a hot keyboard typed a line of words and sent it out, then looked up at the live broadcast room in front of him. And screamed in fear. Only to see. In the live broadcast room, a long alien monster hung down from the hull of the spaceship. The shape could not be seen clearly, but it seemed to be alive and could still wriggle. And it appeared with a crash, and it was not as scary as opening the door to kill. Not to mention, this is still in the universe, combined with the pitch-black deep space outside, it was so scary that many viewers were scared out of their wits. Xuanhuan is me, I found my former youth. This is how I felt when I watched Brother Yes live broadcast. This alien monster is the Kraken. The Kraken is too big to fit into the spaceship, so it can only squat on top of the spaceship, with hundreds of tentacles hanging down, wrapping up the entire spaceship. This giant octopus is still moving its body, trying to wrap up the entire spaceship. From a distance, this scene is really terrifying. However, Yeshi wanted to change the way of live broadcast this time, so he did not pull the third-party perspective, but broadcast the live broadcast from the main perspective. That is, what he can see in front of him, netizens can only see. So netizens did not see the Kraken. Maybe it was too bright before, and Yeshi's performance was always so leisurely, so even if there was tension, it disappeared quickly. But this time was different. Yeshi did not look at the live broadcast camera throughout the whole process, as if he didn't know it was a live broadcast. The immersive live broadcast, as if you are in the scene, coupled with the very cinematic beginning, made many people numb. Family, are we in some kind of illusion? Why doesn't Brother Ye look at the camera or explain? Am I dreaming? Try to cut off the network cable if you can, there's nothing to be afraid of. Thank you, brother. I just pulled out the network cable and found that the live broadcast can still be watched. Am I going to die? Tomcat. Ye pretended to know nothing. It is a basic operation to watch the live broadcast after unplugging the power. Except for Blue Star, the other 9 worlds are out of power, right? At least Baidu Star is really out of power. Now it's just a unified standard on Blue Star. I didn't expect it to cause so much panic. Yeshi almost couldn't help but want to complain. But he still held back. After a while, a sweet voice came out from inside the spacecraft. Destination, unmarked strange planet Gamma MY4, distance from target, 10 light years, estimated arrival time, 10 a.m. tomorrow. Please take precautions for interstellar journey. Your smart butler is dedicated to serving you. So true, so true. I feel like aliens watching Brother Yes live broadcast. I feel a little dizzy now. Is there anyone to save me? A live broadcast room that can't be disconnected is still called a live broadcast room. A game that can't be exited is still called a game. I just realized that Brother Yes live broadcast room doesn't even have end times. Damn Kraken. When Yeshi looked at this barrage, his eyes twitched. He wanted to say, there is no cross, but there is an exit button. Forget it, forget it. He felt that these stupid netizens could no longer be saved. I don't know if those normal people who know how to exit the live broadcast room are pretending to be stupid. Now the whole live broadcast room and the internet are full of a feeling of idiots. Which made Yeshi laugh. During the break, Yeshi didn't want the camera to be pointed at him. So during the time when the spacecraft was sailing, the camera was always pointed forward, and before the netizens could react, Yeshi disappeared with a blink of an eye. Don't go, I'm even more panicked. I was a little scared, and I completely realized what Brother Ye had endured if he hadn't stood in the live broadcast room like a stabilizing needle, and explained everything he encountered very confidently every day. I would definitely not have the courage to shout and make the live broadcast station more terrifying. Indeed, I have encountered many fake people, but this is the first time I have seen fake courage. I am also starting to panic now. I have realized in Longchang that my courage is because old Ye is standing here. Woo woo woo, come back, come back. So what is that thing crawling outside? Tell me it is a kraken. I don't accept any other explanation. The live broadcast room was in a panic. And the same was true on the internet. They looked at the dark space, the endless darkness, the strange sounds, kraken, coming from the universe from time to time, and the suspected alien creatures, and they couldn't hold it anymore. The panic swept the entire live broadcast room. Yeshi had a good sleep. He got up and stretched, and when he walked into the camera, he found that he was very close to the destination, and the giant planet could be seen with the naked eye. We are going to our destination. Yeshi finally spoke, and the place he looked at was still the deep space of the universe, not the camera. The desolate deep space combined with the slightly hoarse voice just after getting up. Scare people. You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Exploring the world, starting from the discovery of the white bone dragon pond. Author, Wo Yi Pian Hai. Chapter 346. Yeshi looked at the aquamarine planet in front of him, which was blue, and there were two satellites, one large and one small, beside it. The distant other side of the deep space appeared in front of everyone. Oh ah! The familiar ethereal voice sounded, and the dark universe in front of him made many people shudder, regretting that they did not cherish the previous normal live broadcast. Yeshi was just teasing these people. At this time, after almost reaching the destination, he looked at the world in front of him and explained. The planet we are going to now is a pure water planet. There is no land except water on the entire planet. Maybe there will be small islands, but no land. Gamma My4 planet. A completely unfamiliar planet. In order to survive in this water planet, I specially brought a diving suit for aliens and an oxygen tank. Yeshi pointed to a pile of things on the table next to him and said so. Let's be honest, do you need a diving suit and an oxygen tank? Brother, are you kidding? Before you developed into an inhuman, you went down 10,000 meters underground, oh no, tens of thousands of meters underground, and greeted the behemoth. Have you forgotten? Speaking of that fish, I remembered something, ha 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 ha, oh my dear princess. I haven't seen them for a long time. I don't know where they died. Although the technology of Blue Star is advancing by leaps and bounds, Atlantis on the seabed is still not seen, let alone the underwater magma volcano. The deeper you go, the more you can feel a heavy pressure. I once dived to 3,000 meters and couldn't go down anymore. Yeshi coughed twice and faced the front. I plan to enjoy the original adventure this time. It's too boring to push forward like before. Hello, did you hear what people said? Hello, Gamma My4 is less than 50 million kilometers away from you. The spacecraft is adjusting its speed and will land in about 20 minutes. Please be ready. The smart butler in the spacecraft began to remind again. Yeshi put on all the things he had prepared. First, he took out the shark silk that he had dug out from some place a long time ago and put it on as an inner lining, then he put on the integrated black technology protective suit. Finally, standing in front of everyone was a man wearing a single soldier exoskeleton that was more than 10 meters high. Although it looked ordinary, many people soon began to observe with magnifying glasses, and then couldn't help but gasp. Looking closely, you can see that Yeshi was equipped with a force field control auxiliary device dug out from the Silas galaxy, an antimatter reactor, and the Orlando Life symbiont fused with this exoskeleton. In addition to these, in the left upper pocket of Yeshi's clothes, there was a white unidentified creature that looked like a dragon, and in the right upper pocket, there was a small model umbrella with the tip of the umbrella exposed, and a bronze vine ornament was pinned next to it. He also put some insignificant things like gold coins, golden walnuts, mirrors, etc. in his lower pocket. He had a wooden whip hanging around his waist, an ordinary diamond cutter on his hand, an ordinary sword on his back, and a cute cicada poking its head out of his trouser pocket, but was immediately pressed down by a little white tiger. When all these small details were discovered and posted, many people were stunned, and even those who had always been relatively peaceful burst into anger. Tomcat, do you have to be so exaggerated, little sea god? Are you going to conquer the abyss? Click the link rightward arrow. The most legendary game, the most passionate war. Don't start with 9999998, just 888, you will become the king of the plane. Wyoming, you are planning to take turns with the Lord of the Underworld, right? Today is my turn, right? Living king of hell, no need, I am just a county magistrate of the underworld. Good fellow, this time we have to fight the Ling's Yao Heavenly Court. Anyone with a lower status is not worthy of this luxurious supreme equipment. Yeshi reached out and flicked the non-existent ash. And the exoskeleton moved with his movements. The single soldier exoskeleton, which was full of sci-fi skills, simply killed the weapons in the so-called sci-fi movies by hundreds of streets, causing many people to be shocked and their eyes were about to pop out. Of course, they were also confused as to why Yeshi's single soldier exoskeleton was so cool. Hee. Yeshi would not tell them that this was something that was made by Tiangong working overtime using superconducting ore. He just had a sudden idea. I really didn't expect that Tiangong in the Heavenly Court could even make an exoskeleton. Making Yeshi wonder whether Tiangong was a technology person or he was a technology person. Okay, all the equipment is ready. The spaceship is also preparing to land slowly. Let's take a look at what's inside this strange water ball. Yeshi was full of passion. As for the live broadcast room barrage, if there is no Qing Yuan Miodeo Zhenjun or Zongtan Yuan's Hawaii or Bai Mayan, don't call me, I don't want to see the bullying. What else can appear? The miserable primitive man who was hit by the dimensionality reduction, woo, my poor Gamma MY 4-star. Under the expectation of everyone, the live broadcast room finally cut a shot, because Yeshi thought it would be better to let everyone see how he landed. So, under the burning of antimatter energy, the spacecraft gradually approached the outer atmosphere. And a rumbling sound followed. This scene was not as playful and humorous as before, especially when Yeshi was performing free fall. But it was exactly like what many people imagined, when they went to the alien planet, how they should fall. Sure enough, Kraken, you are such a big-eyed thing, you even pretended to be an alien monster to deceive me. I almost got deceived by you. Originally, I thought that these things prepared by Lao Ye were a bit superfluous, but I have to say that life needs a sense of ritual now. I feel that I am on the spacecraft and will come to the alien planet. Unlike before, there was no sense of substitution at all. The spacecraft passed through the outside and entered the Gamma MY 4-star. The live broadcast camera cut back to the spacecraft. Everyone could see two planets, one large and one small, rising from the sea. At this moment, I don't know how many people got goosebumps. My giant phobia appeared. I always thought it was cured. Oh my god, where did these two big stars come from? Thank you, I'm already scared. It's like a blow to the head. Those are the two satellites of Gamma My4. One is bigger, anyway, it's bigger than the moon. The other one is also bigger, and it's also bigger than the moon. As Yeshi's voice came, the audience in the live broadcast room had a lot of question marks on their heads, and then they typed. There are two trees in front of my door. One is a jujube tree, and the other is a jujube tree. Exploring the world, starting from the discovery of the white bone dragon pond. Author, Xuanhuan Pian Hai. Chapter 347. You understand, Brother Xuan. What great living writer, please accept my respects from General Xuanhuan. Nonsense literature is back. Is this the extinction of humanity or the decline of morality? I really admire you, old SIXS. The spacecraft slowly descended, gradually entering the scope of this world, and then going down and down. Now, looking down from the spacecraft, almost all of this planet has been seen. This is impossible. However, the range that the human eye can see is endless. Yeshi did not lie, and there was no need for him to lie. But no matter what he said, when such a vast water world appeared in front of the 10 directions world, many people still held their breath. Hearing is not seeing, that's exactly it. It should be the sunlight shining on the sea, the waves are rippling, and seabirds are flying in groups. The huge seaweed grows out of the sea and extends upward. From time to time, flying fish jump over, drawing a beautiful arc in the sky, and the large sea fish also jump up from under the sea. At this moment, all life seems to be standing next to Yeshi, riding this spaceship together to another completely different alien planet. Some people turn off the barrage for the full experience and are completely immersed in the shock of this alien planet. I am God, it's so beautiful, it's worthy of being a water world, it's really a beautiful water world. Just when everyone saw this barrage and was ready to express their deep agreement, something unimaginable happened. At the same time, the warning inside the spaceship began to flash red continuously. Serious warning, unknown weapons are aiming at the hull, unknown weapons are aiming at the hull, unknown weapons are aiming at the hull, please take precautions, the spacecraft will accelerate. Please pay attention, the spacecraft will accelerate. Just after the red light kept flashing, the smart butler said so. Those who had turned off the bullet screen had not yet reacted, and the ground in front of them suddenly turned and the sky hung, so fast that they could not react at all. The next second, boom boom. The powerful sound of artillery fire came from afar and soon came to the vicinity of the spacecraft. Because of the design of this spacecraft, this fierce attack was seen by everyone. Blue Star Dragon Country subconsciously shouted hum and closed his eyes. As for other humans and other lives, they were almost the same, completely forgetting that this was just a live broadcast. 2 seconds later, the sound of the ship's hull breaking did not come, but the sound of gunfire became more intense. These netizens and viewers just came back to their senses and opened their eyes. Then they shouted in the dialect of walking in the heavens. Is it so exciting? Good guy. Star Wars. Only outside the spaceship, dense gunfire attacked like rain. These gunfires came from all directions and there was no room to hide. The Kraken outside cried out in pain, and the action of holding the spaceship loosened, and fell from the sky with a snap. Fortunately, there was still the ocean below. The spaceship dodged the first wave of attacks, relying on its extraordinary engine, but this time, unless it returned to space, it would be attacked as long as it stayed on this planet. So the spaceship's intelligent machine could only forcibly open the protective shield. Fortunately, maybe Yeshi's spaceship lacked everything, but it did not lack energy. So it was completely enough to maintain the protective shield. After the shield was opened, the rain of attacks fell one after another, and was blocked outside the spaceship. The audience's hearts were just put down, but when the cameras switched to the full view of the spaceship, their scalps tingled. It has always been said that this live broadcast is very immersive, especially this time after the previous flamboyance was changed. The real taste was too strong, and these people felt like they were standing in this spaceship like Yeshi and suffering endless attacks. And when the shield was broken, only death would come. Brother Ye, it's your turn, why don't you take action, help. Brother Ye's expression was calm, as if he was enjoying the fireworks. I felt that I didn't have to be afraid. Upstairs, you must be responsible for your words, because of what you said. Brother Ye's face became serious, and I started to get scared. Why is this live broadcast completely different from the previous one? Tais Hang Lejun, maybe this is the contrast. Lejun, you. Yes, she said clearly. It seems that this planet is very special. Once the spacecraft lands at a critical point, it will be monitored by alien technology and then bombed. If you want to continue exploring, you can only wait until the bombing stops. Or park the spacecraft outside, in outer space, to avoid this kind of thing. Then why not, park it outside, Silas last time. I must solemnly declare that Silas was a ship that time, that was a ship, a real ship, not a spacecraft. Okay, there is no difference, brother Ye, don't make this expression anymore, I'm really scared. No, entering an alien planet for exploration, but leaving the spacecraft in outer space. How do you see this? It's a way to die. Is this how you explore alien planets? Besides, the spacecraft is staying in outer space, so how can I come to this planet to explore? Do I have to fly? What else? Isn't it? Xuanhuan is me, brother Ye, can't you fly? I can see the dragon in your pocket, it can fly even if you can't fly. Yes, she finally glanced at the camera. He looked serious and spoke in a very sincere tone. I'm wrong. This is just a decoration. Also, be careful on alien planets. Don't abandon the spacecraft and explore alone. This will kill people. I just observed the range of these attacks. It should not cover the water surface and below the water surface. I am now going to drive my spacecraft and dock it in the sea to see if it works. It should be no problem. Although the alien technology here is already very advanced, it is still incomparable to the technology level hidden in my spacecraft. As the spacecraft gradually went down, when half of the spacecraft had fallen into the sea, the rain-like artillery fire finally stopped. It seems that my guess is indeed correct. But the sea here is a bit shallow. Find a deeper place to dock my spacecraft. Why the hell do I feel that docking a spacecraft in the sea is more outrageous than in outer space? Am I the only one who thinks so? You are not the only one who feels this way this time. Libby's mother opened the door for Libby, and asked how we were going to explore later. Were we going to blow up those alien bases? The spaceship stabilized. Yes, she opened the cabin, walked onto the spaceship, and then looked at the endless sea. Exploring the world, starting from the discovery of the white-bone dragon pond. Author, Wo Yi Pian Hai. Chapter 348. Half of the spacecraft has sunk into the sea, showing a semi-suspended state. The depth of the sea seemed to be very deep, because when the spacecraft landed, the water was so turbid that nothing could be seen clearly. When Yeshi came to this planet, it was getting late, and he stayed in the sky for a while, so dusk has arrived now. The moon, should be the moon. Yeshi stood above the spaceship, looking at the moon gradually appearing in the sky and said, "This planet is entirely composed of water. When we entered this planet from outer space, we noticed that there were two satellites, one large and one small. As we all know, the moon is the satellite of Blue Star, so this water ball has two moons. That's what we see in front of us. The lens has a clear view, allowing everyone to see clearly what this planet looks like. A large moon with pitted earthy colors on the surface seems to be so close that you can touch it if you stretch out your hand. There is another small moon in the direction close to the big moon. It is light yellow and looks much normal. There was still light before, but the sky on this planet seemed to get dark very quickly. In the blink of an eye, the afterglow of the sun disappeared, and the entire planet turned into darkness. The sound of the sea came out, and there was an earth-yellow moon hanging very close on the dark world, and there were weird cries, which made people feel scared. Heart disease is cured, thank you. Brother, why don't you light it? I look so scared. I always feel that there will be monsters in the sea, I hope it is my imagination. There were all kinds of barrages in the live broadcast room, most of which asked Yeshi to turn on the lights. While many people were watching the live broadcast in fear. Swish. The water flowed loudly. A monster whose appearance was unclear suddenly rushed out from under the water. By chance, it just happened to rush in front of the camera. This wave was really like a needle point. Originally, because the live broadcast room was too dark, many people leaned on it and almost pressed on to watch the live broadcast. At this moment, a sea fish suddenly burst out of the water and rushed in front of the camera. Ah! Hum! The 10 worlds were filled with frightened screams, and many people almost died in this wave of fright. Brother, brother, you are my brother, what happened, oh my God! What the hell is this, why did he suddenly run out from under the water? My dear mother! In just a moment, my heart is about to beat out, and I can already feel my heart in my throat. Laughing to death, it's just a fish, you guys are exaggerating too much, don't tell me, this fish looks very unique. Yeshi took out a super large flashlight from his hand at some point. Once the light is turned on, this area will be bright as if it were daytime. It's not a monster, just an ordinary alien fish. You can find it wherever you go in the water, and the things in the sea are very unique in appearance. I was startled and roared so loudly that I heard it hundreds of light years away. I was still wondering what kind of monster it really was. It turned out to be a fish in shallow water, just a little bigger. Your reaction made me think something big had happened. Let me declare that I am not timid, I just reacted a bit to this sudden surprise, of course, just a little bit, touched my wet pants. Brother, yeah, how do you stay so calm, aren't you afraid of this sudden thing? Baby, you're wearing a mask. Old Ye pretends to be a normal person, but he's really not a human being. Yeshi pointed the light at the fish, and after saying a few words, he watched the netizens defend themselves in every possible way. As for these reasons, they themselves might not believe it. Okay, this kind of fish can scare you. When you go into the sea later, won't you go play mahjong in the underworld right there? After Yeshi said this, he didn't wait for anyone to react. He jumped directly into the sea with a bang. Hoo hoo! An icy wind blew. When they were up there, everyone thought the atmosphere was scary enough. Unexpectedly, as Yeshi went into the sea, they actually felt like they were going into the sea themselves and suffocating. Daddy, yeah, please help me, why can't I breathe? Virtuous Taoist priest? Are you blue star people so funny? Fortunately, I am a fish and I am not afraid of water. Yang Xuanhuan, in the upper right corner, click to exit the live broadcast room and you can breathe. Yeshi. He just turned on the immersion a bit more, and then added a slight sense of substitution, and turned off the special lens to present a panoramic deep live broadcast. Why is it so exaggerated? Before his live broadcast room was upgraded, the reactions of these people were not necessarily so exaggerated. Okay, I really want to go. I used to like the sea very much, but after watching this live broadcast, I discovered that I am afraid of water. Why were we not so scared last time Brother Ye went to the bottom of the sea? Because last time, even the dark underwater live broadcast was like turning on the 360 LED lights. It was extremely bright, and it was more enjoyable than watching a movie, not to mention Lao Ye strolling around and taking the time to talk to us. Yeshi saw this live broadcast and shook the large flashlight in his hand. I turned on the light. Don't pretend you can't see it. Generally speaking, it's the difference between turning on the firefly light this time and the incandescent light last time, we all know it. Yeshi was still swimming on the seabed, turned around, and then looked at the camera and said, I just want you to feel what a normal live broadcast room is. Many people left me messages saying that watching my live broadcast room is not stressful. I think it is true. I will put some pressure on you right away. Don't worry for now, although this is not a shallow water area, it is only 400 or 500 meters deep, not as scary as you think, it's just because it's night so you are scared. Let's continue to move forward and see what we can find. Yeshi said as he swam down. The headlights that could illuminate the sea surface just now could only illuminate a distance of 1 or 2 meters under the sea surface, and the surroundings were deep and dark. From time to time, a fish appeared, which scared the audience. On this day, they completely recalled the feeling of watching Yeshi's live broadcast at the beginning. Who said the beautiful water world before? I suggest not to call it the beautiful water world, but the terrifying water world. My old heart can't bear it, my child will be without a mother later. Hey, there seems to be an abandoned base ahead, built 400 meters below the sea. Let's go and have a look. Yeshi saw what was below at a glance and rushed down without hesitation. Those watching the live broadcast pinched their noses instantly, feeling that there was really endless sea water falling down, falling into their noses, eyes and ears. Because it was too realistic, some people really fainted due to holding their breath. When they were sent to the hospital, it was eye-opening for everyone that such a disease could actually occur. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Exploring the world, starting from the discovery of the white-bone dragon pond. Author, Xuanhuan Hai. Chapter 349. Yeshi walked all the way down in the dark sea with only 2 or 3 meters of visibility and very dim lights. Although everyone knew that Yeshi was no longer a human being, facing the darkness and the ocean, they still felt a sincere sense of fear. It was probably the natural fear of land creatures towards the ocean. Of course, there are many people who feel excited. They just like this exciting feeling, so they are more excited than ever before facing the unknown and the sea. It's so exciting, I actually feel that this is the most exciting time in Brother Yes live broadcast. That time the prison of the sun looked at you. That kind of thing is not called excitement, it is called seeking death. Yeshi soon came to the bottom of the sea, the bottom of shallow waters. There was indeed something very obvious built by intelligent life, something similar to a seabed base. It is a pity that the place has been deserted, and there is nothing left except these buildings that have been soaked in sea water for a long time. Yeshi went in and found that there was electricity in a place here, and he could vaguely see how people lived here in the past. Everything is almost the same as before, and almost all the important things have not been taken away. Are these the original inhabitants of this planet? What happened to them, and they actually left everything here and ran away? Looks like just one submarine took off. The technology here is already very advanced. Yeshi walked to a workbench, then picked up a fish caught from outside. As soon as he put it on it, it was caught by a mechanical arm and placed in a furnace. It has been able to convert pure matter and energy here, and the utilization of biological energy is also very efficient. It is indeed as I thought before, this planet has a highly developed technological civilization. There is only one problem. The technology tree branches in many different directions, and the technology tree branches lit up here in the sea are completely different from the branches of the technology tree of the weapons that attacked us before. It is impossible for two completely different technology trees to appear on the same planet. It seems that besides us, there are alien life forms that have also come here. Yashi walked around the base. There were still seeds planted in the base. It was unknown how long it had been, but these plants were still alive. Unclear. I feel like I'm exploring a secret this time. Speaking of brother, yes, ancient books, why don't you take them out and look through them, maybe you can find relevant documents. Ahem, brother upstairs, are you serious or pretending to be stupid? I always feel that this ocean gives me a very strange feeling. Me too. Yashi shook his head while looking at these barrages in the live broadcast room. I mean, it's not as weird as you think, forget it, it's hard to explain. We will find out if we continue to watch. Yashi felt that the basic rules of this planet were a bit weird, but this weirdness was very, very, very subtle. If he hadn't been paying attention to this aspect, he wouldn't have noticed it at all. Okay, the inspection here is finished, let's go to the front to have a look. The depth of the ocean in front should be about 1,000 meters higher than this. Although it is very high, the problem should not be too big. Because from my observation, on this planet, even if it is 3,000 meters underwater, it should still be in shallow water. Normally speaking, brother, yes, words usually give me strength, but this time I felt very scared when I heard them. What does weird mean? No, I have to be mentally prepared first. I always feel that something big is going to happen. Upstairs, stop talking. The last time you said you felt like a monster was coming out of the sea, one actually appeared. Now you, what a crow in the world. Yashi continued to move forward. At the same time, the strange feeling in his heart became stronger and stronger. No, there's something wrong. He immediately stopped and looked at the camera. There is a problem. There is a big problem on this planet. Its basic particles are undergoing an unprecedented change. Yashi's expression was a bit serious, but because it was too dark, most people couldn't see his expression clearly. Although they couldn't see clearly, just hearing these words made them feel guilty. Holy shit, 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 it's really the crow's mouth, it makes me so angry, I swear, I will assassinate this crow's mouth offline. What's weird? Why don't I feel anything? I even fell in love with the feeling of this dark and turbid deep sea, especially the fish passing by. It felt really great to me, I gradually understood everything. Yashi paused on the spot. It only lasted half a minute, and his pupils shrank. He felt it. A qualitative change was approaching him. And the symbiote in his exoskeleton was the one screaming madly, giving Yashi an early warning. No, no, let's go up and have a look. This planet must have undergone drastic changes. But it's strange why I don't feel it under the sea. This is impossible. Such a drastic change must have caused the entire planet to change at the same time. Unless it is. It hasn't spread here yet. When Yashi said this, he looked up at the sky. He cheated directly and appeared on the sea the next second. I am going. Yashi was suspended on the sea, and the powered exoskeleton symbiote screamed shrilly. White Tiger glared at it, and it weakly lowered its voice. But it didn't scream, but people did. Even Yashi's pupils shrank. Hiss, I knew my feeling was right. But I didn't expect that the change on this planet would be this kind of change. The white light shone far away, and the reflected water surface was like daylight. When Yashi and his friends just came down, you could see that the entire sea surface was rippling with blue waves, and it was definitely sea water. But now, the sea in the distance is no longer a sea, but has become a glacier and iceberg. The whole planet is freezing at a terrifying speed. Looking very far away, you can see ice and snow coming in an instant, and the sea surface has formed layers of ice. The thick ice layer is probably thousands of meters away. And the ice and snow are still looking at Yashi at a very fast speed. Crack, crack. His spaceship has been frozen. His feet also quickly turned into a piece of frost. Beautiful water world, wrong, extremely cold, right. Our water world disappeared in an instant, right? This is too outrageous. What happened? Is the Earth wandering, or did the sun run away? Will there be no sun tomorrow? Too scary. How could the entire planet freeze in an instant? Even the awesome himself would say it's impossible. Ding, congratulations to the host. Exploring the world, starting from the discovery of the white bone dragon pond. Author, Xuanhuan Hai. Chapter 350. Ding, congratulations to the host for increasing the exploration of the Gamma My4 star map by 35%, and now the overall progress is 35%. Ding, congratulations to the host for unlocking the first puzzle of Gamma My4 star, and the rewards are 2 atomic manufacturing platforms, 10 working blueprints, 1 extremely cold submarine, 10 original ore secrets, 10 superconducting ore secrets, Gamma My4 star map illustration, Gamma My4 star, below 0 degrees. Gamma My4 star illustration, Gamma My4 star, below 0 degrees. Gamma My4 star, this is an incredible mineral planet that can attract all intelligent life to chase. There are 2 kinds of top minerals in the universe on this planet, and the quantity is extremely large, especially the original ore, and there are many large mines. The indigenous residents of this planet dug a mine with 1,000th of the quantity, and the technology has leaped. Below 0 degrees, this is a very incredible, terrifying planet that can make all intelligent life avoid it. There is a special planetary tide on Gamma My4. This planetary tide has no rules. The interval between 2 tides may be only 1 day, or it may be more than thousands of years. Once the tide comes, everything on Gamma My4 will be covered with frost, without any dead corners, and the extremely low temperature is enough to wipe out all remaining life. The only chance to survive is to go under the deep sea ice. As you can see, Kraken is frozen under 3,000 meters. Atomic Manufacturing Station. This manufacturing station comes from an alien civilization. It can manufacture all the tools needed from the structure of atoms as long as you have a blueprint. There is no doubt that this is a complete black technology. Working blueprint. Each working blueprint contains hundreds of different ways to manufacture objects. 10 working blueprints almost contain everything needed for life. Extremely cold submarine. This is a submarine made by alien life that can survive after the tide below 0 and go deep into the deep sea for 3,000 meters. Yashi saw everything in front of him and heard everything the system said. Originally, the days were short and the nights were long, but because of the midnight tide, the days became long and the nights short. Therefore, the sky soon became bright. The dark world disappeared, and the bright world appeared again. But what was in front of him was no longer a blue sea, but an ice planet. Mom, what happened? Tomcat, I have never been to this planet. I wrote it down in my notebook. I will go and see it next time I have time. It looks very interesting. Not Baidu Lizhija, I just imagined that the whole Baidu became like this overnight. I couldn't help but feel numb. It was too scary. I thought it was just the sun that ran away. Now it seems that I thought too simply and I was too obsessed. I completely understand why is brother Ye wearing such luxurious equipment. That's why. I am God. Where is the big octopus? The baby octopus won't be frozen to death, right? Dead. That's okay. Old Ye seems to be able to travel back in time. Then let's see the extreme cold again. I suggest climbing. She looked far away, then looked back at his spaceship surrounded by frost. I have to say, this spaceship is indeed using top black technology. The energy shield around it directly protects it from being completely frozen, but it is stuck there. You can go up or down. So she walked over to control the spaceship and let it stop. As a result, the moment the spaceship appeared, the big mouth of the spaceship was directly covered with frost, as if there was nothing frozen on this planet that could not be moved. Survive. She felt the energy in his spacecraft burning rapidly. The burning speed was much faster than the previous artillery attack. Even the antimatter energy pile was not enough. In thousands of years, the antimatter energy pile would be exhausted. This is a very, very, very terrifying thing. This can only mean that the frost below 0 degrees is not just as simple as cold. Yashi glanced at the symbiont of his exoskeleton. It was shivering with cold, including the bronze god vine. The cicada was also shivering with cold and shrank in the pocket and dared not come out. Ilong and Behu were okay, but even they could feel the cold, which was incredible for them. I didn't expect to pick such a planet at random. Buy some lottery tickets after returning, maybe you can win the special prize. Yashi as he looked at the camera helplessly. I was planning to give you an exploration of the beautiful deep-sea water world, but now, the plan cannot keep up with the changes. Our sea is gone, and we have to go 2,000 or 3,000 meters below. The live broadcast he had originally planned turned a corner and went to an unknown distance. Hee, just say that you were going to scare us in the deep sea, woo, why are our audience's lives so miserable? The extremely cold world feels more interesting than the deep sea water world, and this planet seems to be able to switch between each other. What a magical country. It's not good to put such a big spaceship here, and since the whole thing is frozen, this kind of cold can continuously consume people's strength. It's not just a kind of cold, but a very malicious, very primitive, and very essential power that is deeply destroying and transforming all existence on the planet. If my spaceship is put down here, the antimatter reactor that can support the development of a civilization will probably be completely consumed in just a few thousand years. I will put it away now. Yashi raised his hand, and a miracle happened. The fierce wind and frost covered his hand, and it sizzled like fire oil. This planet seems to have sensed my specialness and is now trying desperately to freeze me. Yashi smiled and said. He continued to reach out, and when his hand approached the spacecraft continued to get smaller and smaller, and then turned into a model that could be held in the hand, which made people stunned. Okay, the spaceship is put away. Let's continue to see this suddenly mutated planet. Countless winds and frosts shrouded Yeshi's surroundings. The thickness of the ice here continued to deepen, and a cold wind blew. Yeshi patted the exoskeleton on the back and injected some energy into it. Otherwise, Yeshi would worry that the symbiote that had finally come out would freeze to death. That would be really funny. So, Yeshi walked forward, with the wind and snow in the sky following behind him. He used the exoskeleton to walk, which made him walk much faster than usual. Let's go find the Kraken now. The 89 inseparable tent should be no longer on the ground. Ah! I knew it! The big octopus fell after it was covered with ice and snow. Yeshi stood at the place where Kraken fell and said this.